Men should not spend time watching porn.
I feel like I can't lean one way or the other.
Okay. I can argue both sides. So, I'm waiting for you to tell me which side you're on.
Okay. I'm going to lean toward disagreeing with that.
That they should be able, or they should spend time watching.
Not that they should. They should be able to. I don't like the idea of men need to suck it up.
I'm not saying suck it up and keep it to yourself, but there's a certain level of just, do you think oversharing is also as much of a problem as not sharing?
No.
Really?
No.
So I disagree. I generally do disagree that I think that oversharing can cause just as many issues.
That's crazy.
A man's role is to create order. A woman's role is to create the universe.
Explain that to me.
To me, the way...
What does that mean to you?
The way it comes across is...
Abraham Lincoln is actually the first president to enact federal income tax. Did you know that? But it was temporary.
He was a liberal, wasn't he?
He was Republican, actually.
Oh, that's why he's my second
He's
favorite.
the first Republican president. Minimum wage is it's horrible, but
not good.
It's not good of labor in China and Mexico.
Yeah.
Right? But if you're rich and you're trying to make money, if you brought the manufacturing back to America and you had to pay your workers, aren't you essentially paying more money to your workers?
Paid $418 billion more
into China
than they have into us.
Right.
But that's because they've become more industrialized and they make everything.
Okay, so that's what I was asking. I didn't understand.
Why is that
such a bad thing?
Yeah.
And I figured it out.
Oh, this is why we're experts.
It's because it's a big dick contest. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Testing.
Can I tell you something?
Tell me.
I hate personal trainers.
Well, oh no.
I know I'm getting old, but my wife had a great idea of getting a free personal trainer session. And you know what pisses me off the most?
What?
They're fit enough to do these workouts.
Not you?
Not me.
That's
Not
why.
me. Why am I doing 4 sets with supersets and more sets of other sets? And now I gotta wake up and my legs don't work.
When the forklift dropped you off at the gym, and they drop you down too hard.
Oh wait, you call me fat?
Yes.
Okay, cool. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Learn things that you want to learn.
I got a fun fact for you.
Hope you learned something like that. I hope you not.
I'm an idiot. If you have any questions, don't ask us.
Welcome to the Idiots Experts Podcast. I'm your coach, Justin.
And I'm your co-host, George.
And I'm fat. But we try to cure our ignorance every week and share it with you guys.
And by curing my ignorance, I'm not doubling down on the fact that he's fat. I'm here to just support him.
The exercise sucks.
It really does.
No, wait, one last thing. You know what really, really, truly pissed me off is the trainer kept saying, "You got this. You know you got this." And in my head, I'm like,
Wait,
I don't got this.
you want to know how I know that's I'm not saying that's a bad personal trainer, but that's a poor move on his part.
Why?
You said this is your first session?
Mm-hmm.
He has no idea what you're capable of.
Exactly.
This man has never met you.
Had the utmost confidence in me, though.
For all you know.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you know what's funny is that's the first thing that I learned about personal training when I was trying to get my certification. Literally treat them like babies.
I am a baby.
Yeah.
Let me start slow, bro.
Bro, not even starting slow. Your body is just not used to even.
Yeah, I'm not gonna name drop, but you know who you are.
Yeah, they watch this.
You'll never watch.
Anyway, getting into the.
What are we talking about this week, George?
But before we get into our new segment, let's discuss our topics for today.
Okay.
So today I'm going to be giving some controversial social topics because the whole point is for us to not be ignorant.
Yes.
So I want to have a conversation and with you about some social factors.
So we can become less ignorant.
So we can have a conversation and at the very least, teach these ignorant commenters.
Oh, thank God I don't look.
I'm not talking about you.
It.
You know, you're good.
Oh.
You watch this podcast and you enjoy us. good job.
Oh.
But to the people who leave ignorant comments
On the clip, only watch the clips. The clip watchers.
You clip watchers.
What do you got to say to them?
This is going to teach you how to have a fruitful conversation.
Oh, okay. So I should
watch the rest of the podcast to actually get what we're trying to say here.
I should turn my troll down this episode.
Nah, turn it on.
Okay, what are you talking about this week?
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, you don't.
I have 4 topics. I'm not going to tell you the topic. This is going to be a debate style format.
Got it. I am so curious about the world, and I knew I was going to get away from politics, but George, it was in my face. So I did a deep dive on tariffs.
Oh no! I thought we were staying away from politics, dude.
And where they come from, how it started, and how effective they are.
Here's the thing. I find this topic very interesting.
Do you?
Here's my issue. I've done 0 research on my end. So you're going to say some wild stuff, and it's up to you, the audience, to check him.
Yeah.
For the conservative people that are watching, and I know you're out there because I've seen the comments, my fans. Check this man.
No, 100% check me if it's right, but I have some wild facts that I learned.
You say facts, right? But it's probably fake news. But I'm waiting to hear you out.
Okay.
Unlike the liberals, I'll wait to hear you.
All right, let's not attack people, George.
I'm not attacking. I'm stating facts.
Less ignorant. So
You're right.
Let's talk about news and not attack people.
Before we get into our conversations, I'll discuss some awesome news that has happened in the world. Awesome, fun news.
And fun. All right, I'm so excited.
All right, no sad news today.
Let's see.
Okay.
Awesome and fun. Go.
So there is a company that is called Colossal.
Ooh, okay.
They're colossal, let me tell you.
Ew.
Yeah, that was a point. And this company was the first company to create clones of the direwolf.
Oh yeah.
The things that I saw on Game of Thrones that I thought were just for the TV show are real.
Bring it back, right? Why would we want to get rid of wolves? Bring them back.
That was my first thought.
Let's go dinosaurs. Let's keep going.
Why? That's where my brain's.
You're lying.
No,
you want dinosaurs back.
I don't, but apparently they do. So I think it's really cool. So apparently the gray wolf is really similar DNA wise to the direwolf.
Okay.
And the way that they did it was they changed the DNA of a gray wolf to match that of a
white direwolf.
Yeah.
Or did they?
And then they
give him tax evasion and increase his credit score to become a white wolf.
Why do you think everyone's talking about him? That's one privileged wolf, let me tell you.
Okay. What was the main reason why white wolves needed to be back?
The gray wolves weren't enough.
There was no reason.
See, the thing is, the gray wolves needed somebody to tell them what to do.
Ah, okay. So we need someone controlling the gray wolves.
These gray wolves, wreaking havoc, crossing all the different borders.
Looking different.
Yeah, looking different.
Don't look pure.
Trying to go all over from Canada to the U.S. Can't be having that.
Oh, yeah. We want white wolves.
We want the white wolves to work border patrol.
Because it is an American-based company. I think it's out of Texas.
Yo,
Texas.
This administration change has brought so many new.
I guess that is awesome news. I'm hoping that they don't get out.
My initial thought was why?
Yeah, it's a great question.
I don't know. They want big wolves and try to repopulate them into the area. Now, what I think one of the reasons why they're doing this is all experimentation because they're trying to bring back the woolly mammoth.
Huh? How did you connect dire wolf to woolly mammoth?
That's my second piece of news is that they're trying to basically, this process that they use on the dire wolf.
It just clicked with me.
Yeah.
Their company is called Colossus. They're trying to bring big shit back.
I'm telling it's Jurassic Park in real life.
They're trying to bring all the animals and monsters back.
There's one thing I wanted to bring up that was how many embryos and how many things had to be that didn't
tested?
and weren't successful.
Where'd they go? It is Jurassic Park. I can't wait to die.
And then I can't wait.
So I don't have to deal with all this lost research.
I was giving fun news, and this man's ready to go.
You want to deal with the world with Jurassic Park and dire wolves?
Everyone tells me I look like Jeff Goldblum. This will be
I don't think the dinosaurs are going to recognize you as...
I'm safe, dude.
Wait a minute.
Oh, he's the one guy from... All right, move on.
He's from the first movie. All right, never mind.
The reason why they want to bring back the woolly mammoth is they want to release the woolly mammoth into the tundra. So the reason being is that these large elephant woolly mammoth figures stomping around into the in the tundra break the trees. It makes the world colder, and they're saying, hold on,
they're a tool to break down the tundra,
to basically allow the tundra to go back to its original form so that the earth can cool. And apparently this is a thing. I don't know if this is true or not, because I couldn't find a source to validate it.
Okay.
But the idea is, if they are able to bring down the temperature of the earth, and they can lower carbon emissions, that they get like billions of dollars through like a carbon tax. And that's why they're doing all this, so that they could profit off of bringing the earth down to a...
This is a very, very long-term risk that doesn't even know you're going to make it to make money.
The backup plan is Jurassic Park.
The backup plan is kill the human race with Jurassic Park.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
So,
all right, cool.
You know, in case you guys are wondering, watch out for the Colossus. Maybe they're part of the X-Men. I don't know.
Mammoths.
Woolly mammoth. Tyrannosaurus Rex coming to a land near you. Stay tuned.
Okay. I'm out. And I'm out.
Let me bring you back in.
Okay, bring you back in.
Me and you, I've been watching the last couple of episodes. We have some intense conversation.
Sometimes.
Sometimes we have intense conversation. Sometimes you're right.
Sometimes I'm wrong.
Sometimes I'm never right.
According to the comments?
According to the comments. If this podcast was a relationship, I'd be the man, because I'm never right. No offense.
This is how we're going to start off this segment.
But
if anyone watches this, I actually agree with that analogy that you just said. People think George just told me someone called me a pansy and someone who...
You're a caterer.
I'm a caterer. It's fine. I 100% agree with what George says. Man's never right. But go ahead.
Because we disagree so much, I actually think it makes for great content.
I think so too.
And I think currently there's a lot of topics that people have to make so divisive. It's either you're all the way on the right or you're all the way on the left, and the voices in the middle get quieted out.
Okay.
So for this episode of the podcast and for this segment, I want to have a debate, because we're probably going to disagree. We don't see things.
No. Yeah, we're going to disagree.
Yeah, we're going to disagree. Let me. I don't know why I'm tiptoeing like this.
Okay, honestly, I put it on my life, George. If you say the words, we're actually saying the same thing.
Yep.
I'm cutting off. I'm taking off my headphones and I'm leaving my own house.
I'm just imagining, like, I'm watching this episode back, right? The screen just cuts, just like
no. It's just gonna be you talking to yourself for an extra 30 minutes.
Hello. Are you Justin? So I'm going to present us with 4 topics.
Okay.
And I want to have a conversation, because we're 2 moderate people.
Yeah, moderate.
We are moderates.
Yeah, for sure. Fair.
You're just a left-leaning moderate. I'm a right-leaning moderate. Depends on the topic.
I actually think we are Michael Jackson leaning in both of those things.
Okay. Michael Jackson leaning.
Yeah. I'll put a picture up so you understand.
Am I the white or black version of Michael Jackson? Oh, I got it. Never mind. Don't answer. Don't answer. I figured it out. I know which one I am. Don't even. I
meant the smooth criminal leaning. Okay. I'll put a picture up, but go ahead.
So I'm going to present us with 4 topics. I want to debate this with you.
Okay.
All right. So topic number 1. Men should not spend time watching porn. That's a statement.
Ooh, okay.
Men should not spend time watching porn. Do you agree or disagree?
Do I agree? I guess it depends on how much. Right? I don't think it's a black or white answer.
That's the statement. You gotta just give me your.
Okay, say it again.
Men should not spend time watching porn.
I feel like I can't lean one way or the other.
Okay. I can argue both sides. So, I'm waiting for you to tell me which side you're on.
Okay. I'm going to lean toward disagreeing with that.
That they should be able, or they should spend time watching.
Not that they should. They should be able to.
And I
just don't. It's like, not that I do any weed or alcohol, but like, I don't do that for sure. But if you drink alcohol, it depends on each person, individual. But like, some people shouldn't be drinking alcohol at all. But some people should at least be able to, just definitely don't drink too much.
I don't think you should watch it. Period. End of story. Like, that's not a thing that anyone should be doing.
Okay.
Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because it's a waste of time. And I think it harms you significantly more than it helps you.
What do you classify as porn?
Oh, that's tough.
Can a movie with...
I mean, a lot of movies are.
I was saying, some R-rated movies, just clearly it's just, what's the point of this scene?
I'm going to go with if you're watching it alone, it's probably categorized as that for you.
Okay. What about books? What about...
Oh, R-rated? The smut that women read?
That's okay, smut.
Like women on us for watching porn. I'm trying not to.
You're trying to skirt the line. You're trying to skirt the line so bad.
But their smut is disgusting.
I would argue in the same vein that smut might be somewhat close. No, not better.
Okay.
Close to a man watching porn.
It's worse. They got
I don't know about
fairies and vampires and
I don't know about worse.
No. Let me point. You know what? Men should do whatever the hell they want.
Okay, you flipped so quickly.
You're right. You convinced me.
I didn't mean to convince, but you did it so quickly.
These women. Oh, and you know what's crazy is I told myself I really wanted to have like a peaceful conversation with you.
Yeah, dude, you instantly went crazy.
So I'm excited to hear the rest of the points or the big conversation.
Okay.
Just because this one's already got me pissed off. I just think that it's just not as disgusting. I think everyone has their outlets and all the things.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a conservative point that is really interesting. And a lot of conservative people will say people can't do it. People shouldn't do it. And that it's a waste of time. It's harmful, blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Yet
at the same time, conservatives argue about individual agency and that you have the right to do whatever you want and that people should stay out of your business.
Oh, I didn't know that they argued that point.
Yeah.
I guess they are for less government.
They're less governance.
Okay.
So I think I'm going against myself at the moment.
I'm going against myself. Okay. I
think it's really interesting. And I hope that like people who are watching porn or I hope they stop.
Okay.
But also for the people who judge others on for watching porn, that's not your business.
Oh yeah, you are playing both sides of the fence.
I have a particular faith. I think if you want to be more successful,
yes,
don't watch porn.
I agree with the point that everybody should watch less porn. Yes, but I think of like I don't know, maybe some people can. I don't know anybody's business, but like a couple could use it and work for them. And I'm not trying to judge them.
I'm not denying the fact that there are positive factors from porn. I'm just saying the negative factors greatly outweigh any positive factors that you're probably going to receive from it.
Okay.
Okay,
I agree.
Hey, okay. See? A peaceful conversation minus the women smut.
Wait, no. You got to put that in the same category, bro.
What?
Oh, you can't look down upon porn and then you got to equate that. You got to put smut in there.
Well, let's switch it up. I'll be the woman in the relationship on this podcast. So that way I can have my cake and eat it too. Oh. So no, they're different.
For every clipper, for every viewer, George is joking. We apologize already.
Nah, I've learned I'm not apologizing.
No, you're not apologizing. I'll apologize for George.
I'm hoping all the liberals hate me. I'm hoping all the conservatives hate me. I'm hoping everybody hates me by the end of this.
Okay, so yeah, I agree. I think we're at least on the same page that the negatives far outweigh the positives.
Farley?
I don't know. Chris Farley. But anyways, is that all to that point?
That's all to that point. And again, if you have more to say, my segment can go by in 5 minutes. I don't care. I just want to have a conversation with you about these topics that affect our society. And hopefully maybe we're on the same page. Maybe we're not. That's cool.
Okay. Here's a crazy just thought I had.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to play devil's advocate in my mind.
I don't want to play devil's advocate, dude.
Why?
Give me your points.
Not that I believe in this. Okay. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. Do you think the men's urge to release, as I'm going to use, is safer to watch porn than to go out, keep them from
seeking other outlets?
Yes. You know, post nut clarity.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, like I want this girl. Like, no, I'm just being fucking horny.
What if, hear me out on this, your outlet is the gym? Just like, at the gym.
No, don't at the gym, okay? Hey, you stay home, okay? Don't you dare.
What a pump.
Don't you dare at the gym, okay?
I'm just saying.
No, I know what you mean.
You can release in other forms other than in a violent manner.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So,
but for the people who say like men need to release in that specific way.
I don't know, man. And again, that's why you figure out yourself, right? And that's why I think if you are not in a position where like you've, let's say, cut yourself off from that activity.
Yeah.
And you have no other outlet, like maybe find another outlet. Like you don't need to resort to just struggle through it.
Yeah.
Which actually takes me to the next point of conversation.
Okay. Struggling through it. I'm curious.
This could either take 2 minutes and we're done and we move on, or we could just end the whole segment on this. Men who are depressed should seek treatment.
How can I disagree with that?
So that's where I find funny, because I thought you would disagree with that.
Oh, I guess no. You're thinking we have a lost episode, right? Let's just give a little context about mental health, and George was saying, I need a therapist.
Well, we all know what a personal trainer did to you. So
screw trainer, bro.
The therapist breaks your brain, dog.
He said, I need a therapist. And I just argued.
Can you give some context, though? I'm not saying that he's not well off, that he needs a therapist. I'm saying my statement was everyone should be in therapy.
But then when I told you that, like...
Oh, that you can self-treat yourself.
Not that I can self-treat myself, that I've been blessed with many other avenues, whether it be friends, family, or other things, like podcasts or books that help me treat. I was like, yeah, I think I'll be fine without a therapist. And you were hardcore against me, looked down at me and told me I'm stupid. Now, when I say treatment, your statement was men need to seek treatment. I put that in a category of like a bunch of things, not necessarily a therapist.
So that's, I guess, all right. Two things we need to define.
Okay.
Like how depressed this statement is, because the statement is men.
Well, he's a man, right?
Yeah, men.
We know the level of depression.
I don't know what you're talking about.
They're all the same.
I never tell anybody how.
Exactly.
Just had therapy today too.
But George, we know the level of depression. That's already defined.
Oh God, this is gonna be such a what shall I call it? Like a man-centered episode. I hope that if a woman is still around at this point of the podcast, that you stick around to at least hear our perspective, even if you just completely disagree with it. Yeah. That you stick around to at least hear a perspective that might be different from yours.
Okay.
But I genuinely thought that you would say that men should be able to just like kind of handle it on their own. No. Like treatment, like find your own treatment, like find help, whatever it is. But like basically just handle it yourself. You need to tell your feelings to people. No,
I mean, blessed with my friends and family. Yes, I think it's on you to seek out that treatment, but I don't think doing that should just be solely by yourself.
My brain goes towards the opposite. I think that.
What do you mean?
I don't want to make this convoluted and bore the people. And there's a point where men need to suck it up.
Oh, I can't tell if you're just playing devil's advocate.
I'm not.
There's no way.
I'm not. And I'll tell you what it is. Yes, you need to find your way to make yourself feel better.
Okay.
Whether that's finding a partner, whether that's going to therapy, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing that I hate.
Okay.
Is a lot of times, and I'm stressing this because I find this really prevalent in today's society, is that we are over medicated. I'm not saying that you shouldn't seek help, but the form of treatment that you go to should not be. Medication should be, I think, a last resort type of thing.
Okay.
If your initial thing is to just like talk to every single person, tell everybody what you're going through, kind of get a pity party going.
Yeah.
Maybe don't.
This might be on separate conversation, but I just want to talk real quick. The medication problem isn't us problem where they're seeking out medication, specifically like pills and stuff like that. I think it's the doctors and medical field that overprescribes. So they need to change that, because obviously we need to seek help and we're going to trust like professionals.
Okay, we're getting derailed here, but I like this kind of conversation a little bit more.
On the side.
Yeah.
But I don't like the idea of men need to suck it up.
I'm not saying suck it up and keep it to yourself, but there's a certain level of just, do you think oversharing is also as much of a problem as not sharing?
No.
Really?
No.
So I disagree. I genuinely do disagree that I think that oversharing can cause just as many issues.
That's crazy.
Because if you're the kind of person who's, let's say you're going through it and you're struggling and you're having a hard time overcoming whatever obstacle that it is, when you constantly go and just tell every person, or like you're just it's always the thing that you talk about. You're basically defining yourself as this thing. Yeah. I think you dig more of a hole than you're helping yourself.
Here's why I disagree with you.
Okay.
Seriously. I'm so on the opposite end. I want to stress that. Maybe I'm not saying it in my tone, but if you overshare, at least it shows the wound. And so maybe you're defining and you can go dig yourself a hole, right? But at least you see the hole and people can see it. And maybe even yourself, if you look back at how much you're oversharing, you can at least diagnose something. Someone can diagnose. Versus if you undershare and you don't share or don't tell anybody, I mean, that's how depression gets people. And that's how certain people, you're like, oh, wow, this person's been happy this whole time. Yeah. Never showed a lick of depression or anything, no signs. Bad things happen if you don't show.
I like your point. I'm not gonna, but here's, I guess my caveat is, again, big word. Big word. Less ignorant, more expert.
We've been reading books out here.
I have been reading more. Perks of being a dad, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got to read all these books on how to keep these babies alive. I think that the way that, one, there's no such solution for anybody. If you're going through something, get help, whatever that means for you. Yeah. Like, I'm not, like, don't ever hide your wounds, like you're saying. Like, you should seek treatment, but what does that treatment look like? I think, and it's different for every single person. Yeah. Right. So when you face that person who constantly overshares, who's when you look at, like, you say, oh my God, this person just wants to make the conversation about them, and to a point where like they kind of get people away from it. Again, it's causing more harm than good in the sense that, and I know we're tiptoeing on dangerous ground, and let me preface by saying that, like, yes. Like, everybody needs help, but that's the point that I'm trying to get across. Everyone needs help, but you don't need help from every person.
You don't need help from every person.
Yes.
I don't know. It's a community, right? I would ideally, this world of ours, human beings. And, sure. Sorry, I mean, we're religious, but children of God. Everyone should be able to help you. And it doesn't have to be such in like a huge impactful way. But me seeing a stranger and being like, hey, how are you? You look nice today, could be truly something that helps them. Sure. But like, that's why I mean, like, everybody could potentially should help you in some type of way.
I'm not disagreeing that like everyone's capable of help, but not every, for example, right? I know when I'm feeling down, not to go to you, right? Right?
But why, George?
Because there's a clip last week of you shitting on me for a good 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
If you watch the whole clip, it says the random thoughts.
Am I a commenter, bro? I just took that one clip and made it you. No, but I genuinely believe you can seek help from however you want to seek help, but not everyone should help you. Like,
I think I agree with everyone is not obligated to help you, but I think you can at least talk and see who can help you.
I don't disagree. I mean, I'm cool with ending on that because my next one is fun and I want to get into that.
Oh, Lord.
But before we end that one, I do want to say, like, regardless, especially men, because I think it affects us. I can't. Not that
you're scared.
No. I'm not scared. I'm not scared.
A little bit.
I'm saying I can't relate to women issues because I've had this conversation before. It's hard for me to, like, I'm always here for any single person, whether it's my male or female friends.
Okay.
I have a harder time empathizing with female issues because I don't understand them.
Through it?
Yeah,
that's fair.
So I'm just saying, like, to all the dudes that I do understand, like, don't keep that stuff bottled in. I can't tell you the amount of times we actually just talked about it before this, right? You may open up to somebody and they just laugh at you. And they just laugh at you. And, like, that's the thing that men experience, that we don't get to open up about our feelings. If we do, we're wussies. We're pansies or whatever.
I'm me.
You're you. You become Justin.
You become me.
But that's never the case. So I just want to end it with that.
Okay.
Third one. And I had 4, but I think I might just do this last one.
Okay. You don't like the fourth one?
The fourth one's about Elon Musk.
Let's go to the third one. Let's see what the third one is.
Third one is, if a man is failing in his household, should the woman step up?
Yes.
Was not expecting that.
What do you mean?
I expected you to go down the path of, why is it the man's role to lead in the first place? Because the question insinuates that the man is the leader of the home. It says, if a man is failing in his household, should the woman step up? As if she's not already, people always say we're on the same level.
I am of the train of thought that not one person runs a house. I'm the train of thought of, I mean, traditionally, my dad's a bit of, a traditional view, but, like, we do believe that a man should be capable enough to take care of his entire family.
Okay.
That's what a man's role is supposed to, right?
Ooh, why is it the man's role?
To take care of his family. I think it's...
Why isn't the woman's role to take care of her family?
It's a tradition. I just told you, it's a traditional view.
Okay.
I think a man should be able to, right? You take care of yourself financially, mentally, and everything.
Why can't the woman do all of those things?
Hold on, let me finish.
You paused. Don't pause.
Finish, bro. Should be able to, right? Okay. Now, in a marriage, there's a partnership, right? So when I think, that's why I don't think one person just continually runs the house. If a man fails to, in one category, your partner should be able to step up and run that category. In the same way where I might not be able to run the house emotionally well. Maybe I have a shitty day. That's my time, or that's my wife's time to step up and emotionally be the well-adjusted one and carry that relationship. If I'm failing in financials, which really sucks, right?
Yeah.
And my wife's like, you know what? I'm gonna, take a job and stuff like that. I would never want it to get to that point, but in a partnership, you should be able to want to carry the load when your other partner is, like, being slower or isn't able to be the person they are at that time.
So here's the thing. I want to agree with you.
Oh.
But that would make for a boring clip.
Okay.
So they should stay there.
I
don't step up. Stay back. You're getting in my way. No, I'm kidding.
No, there's ego for sure. In a male's, I don't can speak from a male's perspective. There's definitely a huge ego part in, like, running a household, right?
Yeah.
But I watched this video. I forgot who it was. I think it was Matthew McConaughey, actually. And he was talking about something he very important he learned in his marriage is learning to to let my partner run when I can only walk.
Yeah.
Because there's an ego there where I feel like I should be leading here.
So I found this quote and I tried looking where it came from and I just couldn't find it anywhere.
Wow.
But I'm going to share the quote with you and I love your input on this. A man's role is to create order. A woman's role is to create the universe.
Explain that to me.
To me, the way...
What does that mean to you?
The way it comes across is a woman's role is to create the home, to create the family, to create children. Maybe even if it's not children, just create the creation, the life, the enjoyment, the emotions, like those kind of factors.
Okay.
While it's the man's role to create order. I'm not saying that each role is exclusive to the other. I'm just saying that you have to do both. Okay. In order to create the universe, right, you have to have some sort of order. In order to have order, you have to have some kind of creation. You're saying
the role of creating the order and the world are equally at the same.
Yes.
Not that they're interchangeable. Not that the woman also sometimes creates order. You're just saying, yes, the man is defined in order and the woman is defined in the world.
Yes.
Ooh, that's so interesting.
And I found that quote and I resonated with it a lot because I find myself to be like the order keeper. Not in my home, because in my home, my wife does everything. She is perfect. She creates order. She creates life. She is above all.
You know what? Maybe I'm like, because order is the one that's kind of like tripping me up. How I analogize.
It's not a word. We've gone through this.
I thought we said it was a word.
This is why we're not learning.
My relationship is that I make sure the car is running and stable. I make sure that it's in tip-top shape. It can run. It's able to drive. And
She creates the car.
No, I create the car. I create the car. I make sure it's stable. But my wife drives the car. It's the reason why we're going towards the direction. It's the reason why where we turn left and right. But I feel like I am the stableness of the car. And I don't know if I agree, maybe just me personally, about the order of a man versus in the world of a woman.
I'll tell you the far right argument is,
ooh,
I'm driving the car.
I made the car. I bought the car.
I bought
I
the
made
car.
the money.
You're
I
here.
built the roads.
You're along for the ride, right?
You're in the back seat.
You make this. You're a great passenger, princess. You can have aux. You know?
Okay, got it.
That's an important job. You're gonna have aux.
You know what? It is an important job. You know.
But here's where I think the difference is I think some men are in the mindset of, if I fall asleep at the wheel, stay back. I got the car. If I fall asleep, I got it. Just don't interfere. And I think that's where it gets dangerous.
You know how I feel? It's not so much if you fall asleep, I got it. I'm in if you do fall asleep, I got it. But please stay awake and talk to me.
Yeah.
We don't have to get to that place. Don't fall asleep.
Play the dang aux.
Play a song.
No, but see, here's the opposite perspective, right?
What?
Here's a terrible mistake. Sometimes you let the woman drive.
I expect that. Oh, man. That's what you wanted to get to.
I'm so screwed.
You know, I thought you were serious for like a second.
No, but like,
that's terrible.
I do think that's the opposite in the analogy, not in the in the analogy.
Okay.
I think me and you are more in the middle on this. Like I think we subscribe to more traditional views where we lead the home, but we know how to lead by.
No, we disagree. We've had these conversations. I think we at least agree that the man should be able to lead the household.
The man should be able to lead the
You
household.
need to grow yourself as a man and get to a point where you can. So I think where we disagree, there's, I'm gonna let my wife lead, bro.
Let me say this. I'm not talking about the exceptions. I think there's exceptions to I think you can find what's important to you. There's always nuances to every person and everything, right? I'm saying as a general rule, do you think the male is the leader of the household?
No.
Me either, guys. Me either. Please, don't come after me. He's right. He's right. 100%. Moving on to the next topic.
Oh, be honest, George. I don't think here's the thing. I don't think it's a bad thing to think that a man should lead the household.
I just think that when I say the man should be the leader of the household, it conveys the wrong message. I think it tells people that I think that I have some level, like I'm above her. And that's not how I view it at all.
Yeah, I
just think it's different roles.
I think what people misunderstand is, fine, you want to be the leader of the house, right? But I would argue, here's the simp of me, that, and because I kind of view a lot of our old traditional immigrant parents, that the supportive role of the wife in these traditional relationships are, if not as equal, more important than the leader. I see some old traditional, aunts that we have really hold it down to make sure that their husband is stable and can continue.
But do you feel like the traditional, oh God, I'm gonna get myself in some hot water here, that the traditional role is more successful than the alternative?
Ooh.
Now we're just talking about straight up success rate. I think if you like to have, I think every relationship is different and do what works for you and where you come from. By the end of the day, I think there's a reason why things are the way that they are, and there's a higher success rate. And
here's the nuance of it, though.
Okay.
Does it really give us what's on pay? Like, does it show that it's better because there's a higher success rate? Whereas maybe in these traditional views, divorce isn't an option. Imagine if they were saying divorce is okay, it's fine. How successful would these old traditional marriages be? I
mean, divorce is, I'm not gonna say it's okay, but like it's looked down upon. I don't think any religious person or thing can like, is legally it is okay. You can divorce. There's nothing. There's a social.
I'm saying culturally,
social stigma.
That's what I'm saying.
The social stigma
culturally, behind it. There's definitely been on generation by generation that divorce is not a thing. It is not an option.
But that's because it creates terrible negative consequences. Like there's nothing good that comes out of divorce.
I know, but it's like, can we say those marriages are successful even though they're still together?
Oh, like the toxic parents who
people stayed together because culturally, finances, whatever. But am I going to deem that a successful marriage? Am I going to look at traditional marriages are better, obviously, because they stay together?
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah. All right.
The kids stay together. There's downsides to everything, right? I'm not gonna, but I think there's like I said, I don't want to misrepresent myself here. I do think that the man is the leader of the home, but I think the way I view the word leader is different than how a lot of people view the word leader.
That's fair.
Because like you said, the wife is steering the direction of the home.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fourth one, I don't know if we want to get into it. I feel like I already got like
one over.
Really quick, because I think we'll both actually agree with this, each other on this. And
Fire
you might
him.
I have no opinion on political facts.
Okay, go.
Is Elon Musk a good masculine role model?
No.
I agree.
I'm pissed that's an actual question.
There's so many people who, you know what? This one I won't play devil's advocate on.
Real quick, do you see how many kids he has?
Exactly. Like,
he can't be a good role model.
For every traditional human being, for every traditional human being who says that like he's a man, he's accomplished all these things, blah blah blah. Given all of that is true, regardless of the fact that he accomplished great things by doing terrible things, as a masculine role model, doesn't practice monogamy, which is what a lot of
fair
traditional conservative people would argue. Doesn't take responsibility for his actions.
Ooh, you know what? George did a whole 180, baby. He went from posters.
I'm just mid 360, bro. I'll come back.
You'll come back soon?
I'll come back.
Okay, my bad. Wait till my stocks go up and I'm going to turn right back.
Speaking of stocks, well, how about them tariffs, baby?
Speaking of stocks, what a great transition, George. Thanks.
Hold on. I just want to point this out to you guys specifically. For the first time, we had a good transition on this podcast.
Oh, now it looks bad.
I don't care.
He just ruined it.
I need it on the record, dude.
All right. Well, I did a deep dive on tariffs. What do you know about tariffs, George?
They're terrible.
You know what's crazy? The moment I said it, I was like, I hope he doesn't do this horrible button. Oh, God. Okay,
You wanted too much.
The beginning of tariffs. It started at the first president ever.
I disagree.
What do you mean?
Started with the Egyptians. Egyptians
Explain it
invented
They
everything.
invented tariffs?
We invented everything.
Oh, okay.
We invented the fork. We invented paper. We're not going to talk about the bad things we invented.
Slaves?
Yep. I was going to go there.
Actually, okay, America. Let's go there then. My bad. I didn't go world history. I was more trying to figure out where we derive our history from.
Okay.
George Washington is the first one. The moment he was president.
Let me get political. Best president ever.
Enacted the first tariff.
Ooh, awkward.
What?
I said he's the best president ever, and George Washington the first.
Well, here's the thing. So George Washington enacted the first tariff. Guess how much the tariff was on imported goods?
Was it a worldwide tariff or on a specific country?
Worldwide.
Ooh.
Any foreign country. Give me a dollar. Give me a value sign.
20% tariff on everything.
No, give me a dollar amount.
10 cents. Back then, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
He enacted 50 cents per ton.
Per ton?
They weighed the imported goods. That's a lot of money.
That ain't nothing.
You know what's so funny? You said it was nothing. I kind of converted it to see what 50 cents back then in 1789.
Per ton, though.
Per ton.
Okay.
They weighed the imported goods. It's $35.
Per ton?
Yeah, in today's money.
Dog. Just let it in. Like,
here's the thing. No, but here's the thing. It's crazy because the reason why he enacted tariffs was actually for two things. One, protect from foreign competitors.
Mm-hmm.
We got to have America build stuff. So what they're saying today.
were they building walls or?
Goods.
Got it.
Goods.
Got it.
And two is to gather federal revenue.
Okay. So they're trying to find a way to fund the federal government.
Yes. And tariffs was the way.
Best president ever.
And at that time, in the 1800s, from 1800 to 1860, 90% of federal revenue were tariffs. Look at that. Working well.
Is that what's trying to happen right now?
Yeah, I'm going to make it even better. Okay. So that's how they made the federal government revenue.
Okay.
And it led to the Industrial Revolution. Do you know what the Industrial Revolution is?
So when they revolutionize the industry.
Oh, how did you get that? That's crazy.
We're experts on this podcast for a reason.
So what happened was, because tariffs were enacted, it allowed American manufacturers to grow because America was building stuff and buying from its own, right? And the reason why it's called the Industrial Revolution, because in this period of time, from 1860 to 1900, the U.S. became the #1 largest exporter of goods.
Still #1, baby.
#1.
Still #1.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
#1 in my heart, let me tell you.
They became widely known as the best place. We need to get goods from there because we built our manufacturers.
Because we had high quality products.
We had goods. All right. Now, what happened?
Hold on. We had good goods.
Yes, we did.
Also, when my joke doesn't land, like, you can at least humor me.
No,
Fair
I'm
enough.
okay.
Fair enough.
Anyways, so what happened to the tariffs, George? Abraham Lincoln.
Ah, of course.
Damn. Well, how do you feel about Abraham Lincoln? If George Washington's the best president ever, how do you feel about Lincoln and what he did to the country?
Second best president of the United States.
Nice. Play both sides. Abraham Lincoln is actually the first president to enact federal income tax. Did you know that? But it was temporary.
He was a liberal, wasn't he?
He was Republican, actually.
Oh, that's why he's my second
He's
favorite.
the first Republican president. Anyways, but his federal income tax was like a temporary thing. He's like, I need to put this on people and we need money. And then when we set our goal, we'll get rid of the federal income tax. It wasn't until President Taft in 1900, he was like, nah, I like that plan.
Permanent.
Give that back.
Permanent.
And the reason why he wanted to put that back, he was like, well, I think federal income tax is more reliable than tariffs because tariffs depend on how much we're importing. to gather that. Versus if I just put a tax on everybody, we gonna get that money.
But here's the thing though. I feel like during that time, this is what part like I said I would want to do more research on or like look into is that we're like at that point, I think we were importing tons from China.
We were always importing tons from China.
Yeah,
what I learned is we were always importing tons.
So like you're telling me that's not as reliable. I'm like, I don't know. Like there's so many things that we're bringing in. You're telling me that's not as reliable as having a federal income tax.
Well, here's the thing. During the 1900s in the beginning.
Was he a liberal?
I actually don't know if Taft is. I don't know what type. I think he's Republican.
Someone look it up.
He's big.
Us. Oh yeah.
He's the fattest president ever.
Sounds Republican.
But in the 1900s, in the beginning, that's when the Great Depression happened. So like, I feel like depending on we import, but depending how well we're doing, how much can we import if we are poor everywhere?
How much can we import?
That's why it's not reliable.
Okay, I guess that's valid. If we're going through the Great Depression, we're not buying as much.
Yeah,
our economy is going down. That means we only make. The federal government is less funded because we're not buying
right.
as much.
But if we have federal income tax, no matter how well we're doing, still take tax from the poor. You know.
I mean, I think we should take more.
Well, here's an interesting though. Here's a fun fact. So the first federal income tax
it better be fun, is what you tell me.
Ooh, here's a fact. The first federal income tax ever implemented was there's tax brackets. It was just like we have today, but every tax bracket it started at 1%, and then every tax bracket you would add 1%. That's 1%, 2%, 3%. Do you know the lowest tax bracket? Do you know the percentage they pay on federal income tax today?
I think it's like 10 point something percent.
It's 10%.
I took tax law.
It's 10%.
For all of you who think I'm a total ignorant person, I am a lawyer, or I went to law school.
I was going to say, I passed law school.
I passed the bar.
Oh, there we go. I passed the bar.
On my first try, take that, Hillary Clinton. She didn't pass the bar on the first try.
Why do you have to throw a dig at Hillary Clinton?
I wasn't a fan.
She's already gone through a lot with her husband. Anyways.
She hasn't gone through a lot. That's why.
Anyways. And then I learned, here's a stupid moment that I'm going to say I'm stupid.
Okay.
I really didn't know how tax brackets work.
Yeah.
I didn't. I thought if you're in this tax bracket,
you get taxed this percent.
You should get taxed that percent.
No, sir.
How does it work, George?
So the way it works is your first income that you bring in under that tax bracket is taxed at that percent. So for example, let's say you make $300,000 a year.
Ooh, I wish.
I'm only using it for this.
Pokemon cards? What am I
am I
doing?
a YouTuber? Like your first, let's say the tax bracket is your first 100,000 get taxed at 10%. That first $100,000 that gets taxed at 10%. Everything above that gets taxed at the next tax bracket. So only 200,000 would get taxed at, let's say, the 15%, which would be the next bracket. Yeah. But your first 100,000 would get taxed at 10%. And that's how taxes work. Because here on the Idiots Expert podcast, we're freaking trying to make you better.
Which I saw something like graphs and stuff like that. And I'm not going to lie, not fake news, but like they were like, it was going through all the social media. Like, look at these people. If you make the highest tax bracket, this percentage is much less than the lower ones. Yeah. It was like proposed in probably 2025. I didn't realize that, oh no, the rich pay all these tax brackets because they hit every single tax bracket. But yes, right now today, the lowest is 10% of your paycheck. And then I didn't want to name each tax bracket, but like, I'd say every like 100,000, it's like they up it another 10%.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of crazy. Yeah, and then 600,000 above, it's all like
37% or something like that.
Yeah. But anyways, federal income tax now replaces tariffs because now they use that for federal government reserve. Mm-hmm. And they found that they were getting more money than the tariffs. So with a boosted up revenue, let's reinvest in the people. Let's reinvest in the roads and public services and all the transportation,
and schools and churches,
like that. But if we're doing all that, how are we building it? With what?
Tariffs.
With what resources?
Oh, you're right.
Where are we getting those resources?
Other countries.
Shit, it's 25 cents over out in Mexico.
Apparently, the United States gets all its wood from Canada.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
All its wood? And we hate Canada?
But legit.
I just got that.
It's actually a fact though. Like
we get all our
not
wood from
all,
Canada.
but like the majority of the wood is actually used for like framing and housing and like what basically is our like real estate infrastructure.
Yeah.
A lot of it comes from Canada because they have a colder climate, which makes for harder wood, which makes for better like lumber and things like that.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah,
actually
it's pretty
crazy. But yeah, so now that we were trying to reinvest and build more stuff, we're like, well, we need resources, and America doesn't have every place or every resource.
But if you negotiate with Ukraine, you can get some rare mineral earths, whatever the hell that means.
But anyways, since that's the case, it led to us being like, hold up, these tariffs, they're not the greatest thing because we need to import.
Excuse me, sir, my 401k, sir.
Okay, so we lowered the tariffs. And I just want to point another point of history before I get into why people argue for tariffs. I learned about the Smoot-Hawley Act. You know what that is?
Must be a smooth tolly, I tell you.
So the President Hoover is the president during the Great Depression. And he thought, you know what I'm going to do? Raise back tariffs.
Okay,
We're going to bring jobs back to America.
Okay.
Sounds familiar. And we're going to bring money and jobs, and we're going to better our economy, just like the past with tariffs. And guess what happened?
Depression?
No, we had retaliatory tariffs from other countries.
That's what's happening right now.
I'm just saying.
It's happening. It's fine. We learn from history.
Right? Do we learn from history? So here, they raised tariffs, and they said percentage-wise, and people can fact-check me, they said because we went to a trade war with most of Europe, 60% of world trade dropped.
Okay.
Because we were doing back and forth.
This is my ignorant question here.
Sure.
But did America do better?
No.
Okay. Then all right. Cool. Bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. So what it ended is they're saying the tariffs actually, here's a big word, and I'm going to pronounce it wrong, exacerbated the Great Depression.
What?
Exacerbated.
Didn't we say we take that out of the gym?
Yeah, it's when you actually go out, do it outside your house. No, but it sped up. Sorry. It sped up the Great Depression, the tariffs.
You said it right, by the way. Just so that.
Oh, cool. Nice. But yeah, that's just a moment of history. If people want to learn from it.
Okay.
Retaliatory trade wars.
Tariffs happened. U.S. got exacerbated.
We did get
and then it went back to normal. The release, and then you're good.
So 1900s to World War II, where it kind of went back to normal-ish. That's when the Great Depression ended. Because here's another thing I learned. Stupid guy. I didn't realize what free trade really mean. I thought, free.
I'll give you this steal for nothing.
I learned that the reason why Great Depression ended is because they promoted free trade, and free trade means less rules on exporting, importing.
Yeah.
So that's the whole history of tariffs.
Okay.
There's examples of it being good right in the beginning, but once federal income tax came in, didn't do a really good job for us.
It sounds like, and this is where my brain went.
Okay.
Is because we started funding the government from taxpayers, from income tax versus from
tariffs,
from other, essentially from the world, right? At one point, the world was paying to.
Well, we paid we paid the tariffs.
Yes, but like that, I guess. It's a way of, to me, at least checking how healthy the United States is, right? Okay. So yes, we are the ones paying the tariffs, but we are in a place where we can pay more. Hence, the government can do more versus when the government, like when we buy less, the government would have less and hence would have to fix some stuff.
If we bought less from outside of our country.
Yeah, like for example.
Yeah, if we were still running on the old school, tariffs will fund the federal government. Mm-hmm. If we bought less, then yes, the federal government has less, then our economy does worse.
There's some economists listening to this right now. some world famous economist that watches our podcast every
100%,
time.
Always.
Who's like, these guys don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, but we're trying to.
If you're an economist and you know the world famous economist, I hope you reach out to be on our podcast so that we can learn more from you.
Or just email us. Sure, you're busy doing way more important things.
Yeah, I'll try to get through like the thousands of messages that we get because we're super popular. But yeah, like I would love to learn more about this. So if we could get an economist to.
But okay, I had to ask myself because there's a lot of news how horrible these tariffs are.
It's fake news.
And so I had to go and ask myself why people are for tariffs and maybe counter arguments for those. Okay. So here's the first reason why
I'm glad he's making the argument for me because God knows I don't have them. I think these are terrible things.
Why for tariffs?
Okay.
They think, obviously, if you raise tariffs on imports, that companies that have established themselves out in Europe and other places because it's cheaper will bring their companies back to America and America will manufacture everything and everyone wants to come to us to get stuff.
Low-key already started happening.
Okay, well, here's my question to that.
I don't know if it's good or a bad thing. I'm just saying that.
Here's my question to that. What's the minimum wage here in America versus another country?
I mean, it's basically pennies on the dollar anyway. The federal minimum wage is $7.25.
Okay, what's it in, let's say, Mexico?
Who cares?
Oh, Jesus, George.
Kidding. I'm kidding. I love you all.
Here's my thought process.
Viva la Mexico.
Here's my thought process. I know minimum wage is like, that, again, it's horrible, but like,
not good.
It's not good of labor in China and Mexico.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're rich and you're trying to make money, if you brought the manufacturing back to America and you had to pay your workers, aren't you essentially paying more money to your workers?
What do you mean? They would be an added cost of labor associated with your
labor
product.
Cost in America is higher than these other countries.
Yeah.
So why would you want your company to come back to America?
Well, the idea is that you're making the cost the same because you're imposing that tariff, right? So yeah, he's able to produce the same steel, same everything in Mexico for cheaper. But when he brings it in, he's charged so much tax on it that he's forced to sell it at basically the same price that the American guy is.
Yeah, but here's the fucked up part.
Okay.
Sorry, my language. The American person, as a business, this is business minded, sees what that tariff is and is not going to sell my steel for the same price now. He's going to see where that line is plus the tariff and go right underneath it.
Agreed. Yeah.
So there's really not much of a difference.
No, it's a messed up system.
it's not that
doesn't incorporate, like, it doesn't encourage, like you said, free trade. It doesn't create a competition. It's there to protect the American infrastructure, the American business.
But
is that wrong? I don't know. Because technically Americans stand for, free trade and like competition and all that stuff. But also
I just think, well, to bring jobs back to America, right? That's talking about manufacturers that are already here in place. Right. And so say they're losing their competition to all these other places. When you bring back and you make these tariffs, now you're at a much higher, what do you call it? Production.
Okay.
Your higher production means you need more workers than you are now. If everyone's going to buy from you,
sure.
So that means you need more workers.
Yeah, but it also means that your overall, if you're producing that much more, your unit price also typically goes down.
Ooh, not if you see the tariffs and you're like, I'm just going to sell it right here to make more money.
Again, goes to my point where I'm going to sell it right under the tariff price. Yeah. Which means that people are going to buy it from me and not from the company overseas. And again, you're encouraging.
And then we get effed though.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just like thinking to myself, yes, if you're getting 145% tariff on China, maybe bring it back to America. But are people really moving their companies to America? Do we have the land and places and manufacturers for that?
I'll tell you that Hyundai is investing I think it's like $500 million or like some crazy amount to produce steel for cars in the United States. It's going to be in, I forget, either Arizona or Louisiana, one of those places.
Interesting.
I don't think it's necessarily that the tariffs are doing anything personally. I think they're just sucking up to politics and being like, oh, he wants this, let's do this, and then we can lobby for things that we want later on.
Interesting.
But like,
you're thinking that they're not doing it for business. Oh, I guess it's business standpoint, but they're doing it to get a trade off to make the president look good, and then in return get something.
I think businesses aren't going to lose. Like at the end of the day, we
lose for sure.
Yeah, we lose. At the end of the day, we lose.
But I'm just wondering why companies would be for tariffs.
If you're a company inside the United States, 100% you'd want more tariffs. I mean, I feel like that would just boost your pricing. Like
yeah, I'd see that you'd make more money. But as far as like Apple, you have you're global.
Right. And again, it depends on the kind of business, right? You can't move
all your companies to America.
I'm talking about like raw metal steel production or like things that are like fully.
But even then, I feel like people have all these companies globally.
I can't wait to hear these comments.
These aren't just mom and pa steel production in America.
In a way, it is. I think there's
rich people. I feel like the rich people are set up.
I think there's. Hear me out.
All right. Amazon set up all over the world.
Right? Multi-conglomerate, blah, blah, blah. I don't even know what the word conglomerate means, but I'm pretty sure.
Not pronouncing it right.
It's something.
It's something.
It's a moderate. Right? But in terms of like, yeah, they're rich by our standards. That's because we're poor. By our standards, everybody's rich. But like these steel manufacturers or plant producers are like ma and pa to like the rich people. You know what I'm saying? Like Apple is like the very, very rich person.
Yes.
And they're buying from the steel companies and blah, blah, blah. Like, you ma and pa are nothing to us.
Interesting.
You know what I'm saying? Or no, am I totally missing the
I think for me personally, I don't understand what you're saying.
You get me.
He gets
you get me.
Well, anyways, I'm going to do two more things and then I end it. Well, actually, and then a question at the end. I thought an interesting concept that I found that people argue for tariffs because they're saying instead of actually having tariffs fund
the government,
it kind of funds. It says this, they want to take the money from the tariffs and put it in a sovereign wealth fund.
What does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
I'm going to tell you what it means. Here's a dumb brain. And here's how I broke it down. It's they take the money from the tariffs and they actually put it in a trust fund that is invested into stocks, U.S. stocks and bonds. And they use that money to invest and use as the federal government. So they use that money. It's like COVID-19 relief. It would take from this, this fund.
You know what that is?
What is that?
Oh, it's so cringy. It's the ultimate I'm going to bet on myself moment. Like, legitimately, that's what it is.
It is kind of wild to be like, we're going to use tariffs to reinvest
in me, bro.
US stock to make us look much better.
But all that does is just, again, funnel the money into major corporations because you're buying their stocks.
Yeah, 100%. But also,
and we get screwed.
I don't trust much government, but that also puts it in like the government's hands what to invest in and also how to use it.
Congratulations, you're a conservative.
I'm not a conservative. I'll tell you that right now. And then the last one, maybe you could help me wrap my or understand this. People argue that our trade deficit, they use this term, is so bad with everybody else in the world. And I was like, what the hell is a trade deficit? And I just focused on the number one, China.
China. You gotta say it right.
Okay.
China.
It's what?
China. China. I did not catch that. That's so good. Oh no. You technically have to bleep that out.
I learned that the trade deficit means that we, America, import more than we export in terms of value.
Okay.
Right? And they're like, oh, our trade deficit with China is so horrible these past.
Who is that?
I looked up since 1985 what the trade deficit was with China. It's been, no matter Republican,
Democrat, whatever,
liberal, Tea Party, don't matter. It's been increasing every year.
Okay. I'm going to say this. I am ignorant when it comes to the world of tariffs and the world of blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
But I do watch a lot of mainstream media.
Okay.
And you know the mainstream media never lies.
Okay.
But the one thing that it seems that everybody agrees on, whether you're Fox News or CNN or whatever, is that China has been way out of proportion in terms of like trade being equal between the two countries. I don't know if that's the vibe that I get.
But it's like, since what I've learned, since the dawn of time, we've always been in a deficit. And so I feel like I've always seen like, oh, sleepy Joe Biden, well, ruined it. I actually looked at it at peak trade deficit. Guess what it was? How much?
140% difference.
$418 billion.
What does that mean? I don't know what
that means. So if you took the year in 2018,
okay,
how much we bought from China,
okay,
versus how much we gave China,
okay,
we took in $418 billion difference.
So we paid $418 billion more
into China
than they have into us.
Right.
But that's because they've become more industrialized and they make everything.
Okay, so that's what I was asking. I didn't understand.
Why is that
such a bad thing?
Yeah.
And I figured it out.
Oh, this is why we're experts.
It's because it's a big dick contest. It's actually not economics. It's not for it's better for America. It's a big dick contest. You cannot buy more from me, or we cannot buy more from you. We have to be the central.
What an ironic country to get into a
big dick contest.
Yup.
I know. And how are we losing? I don't know if we keep this.
Keep it in.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it in. But I thought to myself, I was like, okay, who cares if we're buying more stuff? Like, we're just using more resources. That doesn't necessarily mean that we are suffering.
But maybe it does. I think here's what's happening. I think that like America was a very industrialized world. We went through the Industrial Revolution.
Which I'm saying,
had all these factories.
From the history, because we were the largest exporter, we want to be back to that big dick energy.
So what I think is happening is America relied more on being the idea guy in the world, right?
Okay.
We're the designers, and then everybody else we abuse or take advantage of third world countries to then become the industry that builds the ideas that we create.
Okay.
What I think is happening is that fresh ideas are kind of running low at the moment. You know what I'm saying? And we need to get this economy. So they're trying to bring a lot of those things back to the United States because they're like, all right, there's only so much design or like things that we can truly do in our world. We've already revolutionized. Also, China has a tendency to like steal all our IP, all our code.
That's another thing that they were saying. Like, if we trade a lot with them, they're just stealing our IP. Which, like, come on now.
TikTok.
Come on,
TikTok.
Now. What do you mean? They made TikTok, and what was it was before?
They bought what was it?
It's like song
Singly or something like that.
Where some like lip syncing.
Was that also a Chinese company?
Yeah.
Oh God, we're gonna get hit with so many like fact checks on YouTube.
I'm just saying, like, I feel like trade deficit is really not that bad.
I'm just like, hey, they're doing their job.
Small dick isn't bad, bro. It's how you use it, right, George?
I wouldn't know. Could you relate, Doug?
Right, George?
Yes. Yeah.
Stay with me.
We support our co-hosts. I mean,
I'm just saying in general.
Right. We support everyone.
I'm just saying.
We have a lot of people here who are going through that. No, I'm kidding. This episode is brought to you by Bluetooth. If you are,
stop giving free promo. But yeah, that was the end of my segment. I just realized it's really not that bad if we buy. I like free trade. I like what if we buy from other countries. Let's all work together, make money together. Everyone's rich. Let's do that.
The thing is, I think this is where another element of the giant web is. There's no one cause and effect, right? That's what a lot of people got to understand is like, this is happening because of this. Anyone who tells you that there's one reason for something is wrong, especially on a world stage. There's also like the political factor of like, I think you have malicious intent. I think like, the United States propagates and there's like this hostility between the US and China. I think you're going to do something bad to me. You think you're going to do something bad to me. And like, how true is that? I truly don't know. Like,
big dick contest, George.
And you know, America.
Here's the thing. It's like, why do I care what your dick looks like?
Don't tell me.
Am I getting mine? Am I using mine?
Don't tell me that when you walked around the gym, when you were going for your personal training session, that George. You didn't like walk around the gym and go George. Like, oh, let me get a sneak peek. You know what I'm saying?
You don't always support your co-host, okay? Remember that.
Oh, I'm never supported.
Sometimes they say stuff that's just them.
I'm never supported. You know what? Sometimes you just want to see how you compare to nothing else. Just
why, bro? See, that's why you find unhappiness.
You gotta know what's out there.
And that's why maybe if you're like that, you do become the president of the United States.
How can I do
but
that?
Like, who gives a fuck about how big your dick is and how other people's dick is? Worry about your own dick.
I'm just talking about my hands, bro.
Is it still in use? Does it work? All right, then shut up.
That's why you threw me so off on that, dude. Holy moly.
That's my segment on tariffs. So if you guys want to know more about tariffs, don't watch this. Me watch this and then be done with it.
And do your own research and tell us, because like one thing that I hope that we do get out of this podcast, and this is what we're trying to work towards, is that we want this to be a community thing. We want to grow as a community, to learn from you guys. Hopefully you learn something from us. At the very least, we hope you're laughing. Because God knows some of the stuff we're saying is wild. But yeah, it's a community thing. I'm going to try to get a little bit more engagement because I do want to interact with some of the people that we'll see how that goes. Yeah. I'll keep you guys updated. But thanks for tuning in to this episode of the podcast. Right, we hope. Hey.
I'm going to get my dog. Sorry.
Control her later. All right. Be a leader. We hope you learned something today on this episode of the podcast.
Control my bitch.
She's a female dog.
Wait,
she is a female
name. A scientific
dog.
Name. Okay. All right. Close this out.
It's dragged out. This is going to be the longest closing that we've ever had on the podcast. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for joining. Please support us by leaving a like, comment, or subscribe. Or please support us by hating us and leaving a like, comment, or subscribe. And we'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.